Have you ever traveled through time? We do it every day.
Asgardia is a country with a population of more than 1 million people from more than 200 countries on Earth. Asgardia gives everyone equal opportunities, no matter what their earthly status is.
It is possible to create and live in the future right now. Are you ready? Forward progress is the solution to the entire human race. Our mission is to bridge new horizons. In Asgardia, there is no limit to the universal development in the fields of technology, finance, and arts. Asgardia is a new space and digital economy which creates opportunities for the global economy. We deliver innovations. Do you want to get on board with us? We are developing various kinds of digital businesses, attracting them to the Asgardia platform that can be backed by the means of our umbrella, i.e. franchising of the Asgardia brand. We can not only attract investments into space programs from prominent institutional investors, but also affordable amounts from the citizens of Asgardia. We comprise of more than 1 million people.
Asgardia is a chance to realize one's dream. This is a dream-driven space nation. Asgardia is a chance to belong to a community of free-thinking enthusiasts, goal-driven dreamers, and fearless innovators, theorists, and scientists.
We are the first space nation. One humanity, one unity.
Asgardia.
We are creating
the future.
Well, if you're doing competition racing the drones, I can understand why they would wear them. Given that they are bringing the drones through various obstacles, it would be much easier for them to be able to get them through the obstacles if they could see from the drone perspective.
Oh, yeah. That's why they do that.
I couldn't do it just because I couldn't handle it.
It takes a lot of practice.
Okay. Thank you. I'm still hoping. I've still got to finish writing up the proposal. I'm still hoping to finish a proposal on Asgardia sponsoring an Asgardian drone racing team.
I'll kick in some solars.
Well, think of it this way. If we say that part of being a paying resident means that you are eligible if you're over 18, or maybe 16 and up. I've seen 16-year-olds that can race those things like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But if you're a paying resident, that you are eligible to be, a competitor on the team.
Well, you need to talk to the guy that did the esports initiative.
Yeah, I know. I got a whole bunch of stuff I gotta do now that I'm able to start catching up on stuff now. And of course, my mom having the surgery kind of put a crimp in things, and with my dad's health failing, I need to go see him, so that kind of put the crimp in things.
Well, I'm glad he's doing okay. Well, Mr. Chairman, I think we're about ready to start.
I think we are. I was going to say the same thing. Rebecca, where are we with the promotional video, or has that completed now? Okay, thank you, Rebecca. Let's go live. If we are already live, that's even better. Great, I assume we are. People of Earth, welcome to Asgardia's fourth digital sitting in the second term of Parliament. For those who thought that Asgardia was a here today, gone tomorrow event, here we are. We're still standing and we're flying too. I'm Len Topik. I'm the Chair of Parliament, and I will be proceeding with the chairing today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Sometimes the Deputy Chair, Peter Morn, will perhaps be in control as well. But what really matters is it's live, it is uncensored, it is unedited. This is the world's first fully functioning digital democracy. Before we go any further, let us hear from our interpreters. And we'll start with Elena about Russian, and this will explain how you can listen in Russian with simultaneous translation. Elena, good evening, and over to you to explain. And also we have a new Russian interpreter as well, and you might want to say something about him.
Good evening, Mr. Opik. Good evening, dear Parliament members. Very nice to see you again. С вами Елена Хмелева, сегодня переводчик с русского на английский язык. Приветствую всех, уважаемые господа парламентарии. Сегодня, как и обычно, наш перевод осуществляется в синхронном режиме на 3 языка: русский, испанский, а также турецкий. Для того, чтобы слышать перевод, нет необходимости вам переключать канал. Просто оставайтесь в той русской комнате, в которой вы сейчас находитесь. И когда вы захотите высказаться, вам просто необходимо поднять руку, и вы можете высказаться в общем эфире. Пауз специальных делать нет необходимости, так как переводим синхронно. И просто небольшая просьба говорить чуть помедленнее, чтобы мы успевали изложить слушателям то, что вы говорите. Благодарю вас за внимание и удачного вам заседания. Спасибо.
Thank you very much, and welcome to Kirill. And I'm sure that very quickly you will settle into this new role with great people here. And if there are any problems, don't panic. We are all on the same side. So by the end of this weekend, I'm sure that you'll be 100% up to date with this. Let's move on to our Spanish interpreter. Who is that? Liz?
Yes.
Liz,
Hi.
good evening to you. It must be midnight or later there. If you're still
Good
in South
night.
Korea.
It's 2 a.m.
So sorry, but you did choose to live in a very interesting and lovely country, South Korea. Over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bienvenidos, queridos parlamentarios, a esta cuarta sesión del segundo Parlamento de Asgardia. Para los nuevos y las personas que han estado aquí anteriormente, tenemos las traducciones en ruso, turco y español. Vamos a estar traduciendo simultáneo, no tienen que parar cuando estén hablando para traducir, pueden seguir hablando. Por favor, tengan en cuenta que deben hablar despacio para poder hacer la mejor interpretación posible. Si tienen alguna pregunta, por favor, comuníquese con la coordinadora del Parlamento o directamente con el presidente del Parlamento y para que nos dejen saber. En la pantalla tienen para cambiar los idiomas y escuchar en el idioma que desean. Y de nuevo, si tienen alguna pregunta, comuníquense rápidamente con Linda o Lenvit. Muchas gracias y buen día.
Thank you very much indeed, Liz, and try to stay awake if you can. Next, we have our Turkish interpreters. Welcome once again. Over to you. We're not hearing anything yet from our Turkish interpreter. Are you on mute?
Linda, I'm not hearing the English interpreter.
I'm not hearing the Turkish interpretation at the moment. I can see they're there, so it must just be a setting. Let's just wait for a moment. Okay, we're not hearing anything from our Turkish colleagues at the moment. Okay, we'll come back to that. If there are any problems, then please let us know. If so,
sorry, Lembit.
Yes, hi.
Okay, so I think my colleague Eren has a technological problem.
No problem.
Can I take over?
Yes, please. No
Okay.
problem at all. I'm sure Eren will fix it.
Thank you. Thank you
you
so
take
much.
over.
Okay.
No panic. No problem.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you. Değerli katılımcılar, öncelikle bu teknik aksaklıktan dolayı özür diliyoruz. Alışılageldiği üzere toplantılarımızda yine 3 farklı dilde simultane çeviri hizmeti verilmekte. Bunlardan birisi de Türkçe. Bizleri dilerseniz aşağıdaki tercüme ikonuna tıklayarak takip edebilirsiniz Türkçe olarak. Yine Türkçe söz almak isterseniz de bizler eş zamanlı olarak sizin sözlerinizi İngilizceye çeviriyor olacağız. Sizlerden bu nedenle ricamız yavaş konuşmanız ve tane tane konuşmanız. Onun dışında iyi bir toplantı diliyoruz. Hepinize teşekkürler. Thank you, Lembit.
Thank you, everybody. So order is restored. Any problems with interpretation, just raise your hand or speak up. One day I want to have 12 out of 12 languages. We're 25, well, we're a third of the way there, actually, 4 out of 12 so far. Let me now introduce the process for today, and then we will proceed with what's really an administrative session today. The first thing is that just one moment, sorry, just consulting with my little helper here today. Today is an administrative day when we look at the agenda and we talk through what's going to happen in the next few days. Let's start with some announcements. First of all, government hour tomorrow for our government colleagues is going to be 1600 UTC tomorrow. Sorry, I should have told you that before, but it's 1600 UTC. And whatever stage we are, in order to make it possible for the ministers to prepare themselves for it, then we will make sure that the business stops for that time, or whatever business we're doing, it stops for that time. And then we carry on with the process of debate on anything else that's happening. We're starting at 1300 UTC tomorrow. Remember, it's an experiment. We'll see if that's better or worse. Then that's the first thing. The second thing is that, as I said before, I will be chairing. I expect to chair most of the sessions. Peter Morn might be chairing as well. We also see what happens with that. What's important is that everybody gets all the time they need to discuss the things that we're discussing. We're introducing one new procedure. It's not very different, but I'll explain that in a minute, and we'll see how that works as well. What's important to me is that everybody feels that their legislation is being properly presented and that the feedback is good as well. When we talk about the agenda, then I'll talk a little bit more about the actual the new system, and also so the new experimental process for one of the areas. Next, we do have an election, and I'll talk about that now. We are electing a new chair of finance for the finance committee following the resignation of the old chair. That's part of the normal process of our political system. If you want to be a candidate for that, please tell me before the end of our session today. I just really need to know who's wanting to stand, and it's important to me that I have a good picture of that so that I can manage the election, and that will be on day three of our program. It matters to me very much that we have an open election, and that means that we will have the discussion between all of us here, but the vote will only be involving the people who are standing, who are members of the finance committee itself. With that vote, it'll be a public vote, so everyone can see who's voting how. not because I'm trying to cause any disruption, but we don't have any reason to keep these things secret. What really matters to me also is that we have a comfortable dialogue where people don't feel that they've lost. Really, that's not the way to look at it. We're choosing a chair, but everyone's got a vital role because all of us are pioneers at this stage in our proceedings as a parliament. And that will remain for another probably 10 or 15 years. We'll still be pathfinders. And my final announcement is this. We are live all over the world, and you're most welcome to be involved in the debate. The public isn't invited to speak at these events, but if you like what you see and you are not yet a resident of Asgardia, why not join? It costs €100 per annum, and there is lots to be involved in, including, for example, a very exciting event during the solar eclipse, where Asgardia will be having a big event in the Dallas area on the 8th of April. I'll be attending that as well. So if you like what you see here, think about joining Asgardia, and then you can stand for Parliament as well. It could be that we have a by-election again in 2 years' time, but there are many other spaces to fill, much more work to do than we can do without working together. We have to work together. Any questions on any of that before I go through the agenda? Okay. I don't expect us to be very long today. I'm guessing we'll be about 60 minutes in total. Let me start with opening the vote. The voting is officially open. The items for voting you will find in the usual place. If you have any problems with that, then just please ask, and I'll be very happy to explain how you do the voting. It takes just a few minutes. I now vote as well. In the old days, I did not vote, but it didn't make any sense because I always tell you what I think anyway of the legislation. So I do vote now as well. That does not mean you have to vote the same way as I do. There's no punishment if you don't. What matters to me very much is that you have the idea of voting closely associated with the debates we have here. The voting also stands as the quorum count. We need to get at least 50% plus one voting, and that makes sure that we actually have the quorum we need to make all of the votes count. So let me go through the agenda. We've opened the voting. We've heard from our interpreters. Tomorrow, we will be discussing, as always, the legislation that is in progress. The opening of the second day will be at 1300 UTC. We'll see if that works. And I expect we will finish before the 2100 latest. We usually do it in less than 8 hours. The reason it's so much quicker is because with simultaneous translation, we save 60% of the time. And so we usually manage to do all the work in about 5 hours. So the first thing will be the opening of the session with any additional questions and comments that you need to have as well before we get into the active debate. Then we start with the Asgardia Consumer Protection Act, which is the first reading, the first time we formally discuss it. That will mean a discussion of core principles and the headings for the articles. John Fine will be presenting that. And the item for voting will be if you agree or disagree with that first reading. If it's agreed, then we go to second reading at the next sitting. Then we go to the Asgardia Information Safety and Security Cyber Act, AISSCA. Mr. Ricky Sickles will be presenting that for us. That's actually second reading, Ricky. We checked. It's not third reading, it's second reading. So apologies for confusion there, but I'm sure that we're at reading stage number 2, not number 3 on that one. So if that's passed, that's the full document. If that's passed, we still have one more stage where any changes will be adopted according to what the owner of the legislation, Mr. Ricky Sickles, wants us to do. Then we move on to the Asgardia Digital Interface. Well, sorry, this probably will go to this Asgardia Digital Property Act after that. That's second reading again with John Fine. And everyone's welcome to contribute, including ministers, of course. I believe we have one minister who knows a lot about digital property, and maybe she'll make a contribution. We shall see. Then we've got a new, then we'll go to, I expect the Digital Interface Act. Now that is actually going to be a development debate or augmentation debate. This is a new idea. It's a more formal way of looking at the process or the content of that legislation. In terms of dialogue and feedback, what we think is we want to get a sharp, clear focus on what we need this legislation to do. I really like the idea of this. I think it's really important to avoid the pointless errors which are made in the old-fashioned political systems, including the UK, where the digital interface just does not work properly. The British National Health Service spent £12,000 million on a digital interface system that didn't work, and it doesn't work. So what Mr. Ross Cheesewright is trying to do as Chair of Information and Communications is introduce a system which means we do not waste money and time and cause interface problems in our society. So we'll have a development debate on that tomorrow without a vote. I was discussing with Ross if it should be here or not. I think it should be, because we do need to make progress on this, but it's without a vote. So the second reading will be at the next digital sitting once we've had that debate. Then we'll have the Foreign Affairs Act, which will be the last item that we'll be discussing. Digital. It'll be the Asgardia Foreign Affairs Act. Now, this is really important because this will define how we begin to manage our international relations. That's our recognition with terrestrial nations. And that is absolutely key, absolutely central to the development of Asgardia as a fully recognized nation, for example, by United Nations. Further, Inan is a really great person to work with. She's thought about this a lot. I've talked about it with government representatives as well, and she has. So that's really big piece of legislation and will make an immediate difference to how we approach nations to get recognition. Then we have the Government Act. We have let me correct myself. We'll have the Government Preliminary Financial Overview. It's just an overview of where we stand in the year so far from Minister Mark Bogan. And we will have the Government Hour. Now, the Government Hour will occur at 1600 UTC. So wherever we are in the timetable, the Government Hour will be at 1600. The reason for this is it helps our ministers plan their attendance. They are, of course, welcome to attend the whole of the session, but it helps the Prime Minister and her government ministers be available, and that'll be 1600 UTC for whatever length of time we need. If we have other legislation happening, we will stop there for a while, have the Government Hour, and return to the other debate. It seems an obvious and rational way to manage people's time efficiently. Then we close the session, and I expect this will be a 5-hour session tomorrow, probably 5 hours. The longest it can be is 8 hours. Then on day 3, we will have the announcements. Then we will have reports from all the committees, and thank you, the chairs who have submitted their reports. If you haven't submitted something, please do it now as soon as we finish today, and send me even a brief report. I can talk to you separately about that as well if you need me to. We should have 11 reports. Finance Committee won't have a report because we have to elect a new chair. After the reports, we will have the election for the Chair of Finance. Once again, only members of Finance can stand, only members of Finance can vote, but we'll have the debate in front of everybody. And then we'll have the vote there and then. After that, we will share the results of the voting on the agenda, and that's for all the legislation. And obviously that includes the quorum count. The vote for the agenda is actually the quorum count. Technically, that's the protocol. Closing remarks, national anthem, and close. We're starting at 1500, so 1500 UTC. I keep saying 1400, 1500 UTC on that day. Any questions about the agenda? Ricky, are you okay with doing second reading? And apologies for the confusion. Yeah. Sorry about that, Ricky. I should have checked. It's my fault, not yours. But it is second reading, and then third reading will be the next time. I don't foresee any problems, but it's just where we are in the process. And Ross, are you comfortable with us doing this new experiment? In British politics, it's called an adjournment debate, but it's really a development debate on your legislation.
I'm comfortable with it. I got to be honest, I don't really understand what the format will take, but I will look forward to hearing from my colleagues and senior colleagues, especially those who are in justice and have worked on the development of legislation to help refine this so that we can, get it into a good place and get it over the line. Absolutely, 100%.
You have exactly the same amount of experience as everybody else apart from me in this new process, because no one's ever done it before.
Well, you did say we're pathfinders, so here we go.
we are. It's based on my experience in British Parliament. It's called an adjournment debate. That is often a debate which is in Parliament, but it doesn't lead to a vote, and it gives people the chance to explore and develop ideas, and that's what I'm hoping to do tomorrow. And we'll experiment. It's like an Asgardia legislative forum, but it's more formal. What it says is this is legislation in progress. This process actually evolves from something we did with a piece of legislation created by our colleague Ariadne. And what she produced was a morally complex bill, and we went round quite a few times. And basically, we used that kind of process, but we did not call it a development debate. Adjournment, I won't use the word adjournment because it might be difficult to interpret in a consistent way, but development debate might be the best way of calling it. It might be we find a better word for it, but you're the first, so you definitely are a pathfinder tomorrow. TJ.
You caught me. Ross, we're so excited. We're so excited. We're so excited. I'm excited to see your face, first of all. And yes, you've been like hiding and so busy doing your work. And I know that it's been phenomenal, whatever you're working on. And I'm so glad that you're back and you're ready. And this program that you're working on, the system, justice is ready for you. So among all the other things that we're working on, and Joshua, I see you. Joshua Carter, we see you. We're welcome back. Welcome back. So anyway, we're ready to work with you, Ross. We're excited.
Yeah, that was all for you, Ross, not for me.
Right.
He's not excited to see me.
Remember, you're gonna be so full of all of my obnoxiousness. I don't even need to say any more to you for the next 2 weeks. The next 2 weeks, you're going to be so annoyed with hearing the word TJ.
What TJ is referring to is the Dallas event, the total solar eclipse, which I hope will not be. I hope the date won't change because I've booked my tickets now. So it's got to be on the 8th of April, and TJ, Evie, and John, Charlotte, Bridget, and many others are directly involved in making a great event happen for Asgardia.
Jason Berry too.
This great solar event is occurring, and we need to talk about those logistics. And on Sunday we can maybe share more of that with people as well. I'm very, very excited about this, and the objective is to make a national, an international impact with Asgardia being there. So that's what she's referring to there. But Ross, you've got a lot of support here, and let's just see what happens. It's new. It's an experiment. It's new, but it can't go badly. It's not going to go badly. I would say, Ross, what we're really trying to do is make sure that we have absolute clarity in terms of what this piece of legislation wants to do. I am personally quite comfortable with it. It was feedback that I was getting from others who wanted to say, let's have a debate to understand what we're trying to do with this piece of legislation. So it's interesting. I'll share my views tomorrow as well, which are all positive about the legislation because I spent a lot of time working on it with you. So let's see what happens. It's not going to be thrown out. You're not going to be fired. It's just a new debate.
Someone's legislation has to be the first to be thrown out, I guess.
No, not necessarily. I plan on success. By the time something's on the agenda, it has already received a lot of attention.
Yeah, no, I'm confident in the legislation, but I do want to get it into a place that everybody is happy with across the floor. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's no problem. It's as real as the opportunity is as real as the aurora borealis behind Bridget. You got to Norway very quickly, Bridget. Right. Other questions or comments about the agenda? We don't need to have a long discussion, but I've got a little bit of any other businesses back to the Dallas event, actually. Okay, so let me summarize then. I will be finished within the next 25 minutes, I'm sure, for today. And once again, to absolutely stress, the reason that we are so much faster, it's and somebody asked me, why have things speeded up? It's because in the past we had linear translation, so it was translation in sequence so everything was said 4 times. Now everything is said 1 time, and so we really are saving a huge amount of time. Actually, we could save 75%, but we are saving about 50 to 60% of our time, and that makes us very efficient, the most efficient parliament on earth. So that's very important that we make the most of the time we have, but we don't have to stay together for unreasonable periods for the sake of talking. We've got those 4 bits of legislation to vote on: the Asgardia Consumer Protection Act, the Asgardia Information Safety and Security Cyber Act, that's second reading, Asgardia Foreign Affairs Act, second reading, and the Digital Properties Act, second reading. We've got that development or adjournment debate about the Digital Interface Act. We've got the financial overview for the year so far. We have the government hour, and that's what's happening tomorrow. And then on the 3rd day, we'll have committee reports. And we've also got election of chair of finance. And a quick review of timetable for priority acts as well, and the results of the vote. So I'm going to go to any other business. First of all, big news. We may be having an update about the Sirius project tomorrow. I know everybody does love to talk and hear about that, because it's a really big opportunity. And I think that we should be proud of the fact that our head of nation, Dr. Asha Bailey, has taken such a serious involvement in it, because we really are learning about what it's like for people to live in a self-contained, self-sustaining environment with a limited number of people. I hope to go to see one of the containment experiments at some point. I have not done that yet. I intend to travel more this year, and I'll explain why in a moment. Then the other thing to say is that on Sunday at 1100 GMT, that's just a few hours before our sitting, I will be interviewing Simon Feast from the British Interplanetary Society on television on Today's News Talk, which is a station that I have a program on sometimes. And we will be reviewing my contribution to the British Interplanetary Society about 8 days ago, when I spoke to the people there, and we developed a formal agreement to create a formal memorandum of understanding between ourselves and the British Interplanetary Society. This should help Bridget, who is trying to get us a meeting with the American equivalent. There's the same kind of society for America, while I'm over there in Dallas for this total eclipse. These are the developments which will make us successful in the years to come. Then let's go to TJ and then to John. TJ.
It's just me again. Okay, so a few things that I missed before. So if you guys didn't know, the Justice Committee, because this is a legislative forum and this is legislative information. If you didn't catch me and Limbit before on the radio show, where you're going to catch me and Limbit again on March 15th, we are going to be discussing, well, I'll be hosting the webinar, but he will be discussing some of the core specifics of the Constitution of Asgardia. So be on the lookout for that. Please be in attendance for that. If you do not know some of the core specifics or the core foundations of Asgardia's Constitution, and you would like to get a refresher of information, that is your time. And then he will be doing 2 follow-up on the supreme values and so on and so forth after that. So it's supreme values and act on acts after that. So be in attendance for that. And then just as you guys knew, I mentioned Josh Carter. He is the other vice chair of the Justice Committee. He is making his slow return back to the Justice Committee. I am extremely excited that he is on his way back, but I will ask everybody to please not bombard him as he is making his slow return, because he is having to kind of, take in all of the things that have progressively happened over the last few months. So if you don't mind, please make sure that you guys give him a warm welcome on his return back from his leave of absence. But please, he's here, he's messaging. But I would want to make sure that you guys encourage just not bombarding him with a million questions, because he is trying to catch up where we're at. And he does have a lot to catch up on. So that's all I wanted to make sure that I mentioned.
Thank you, TJ. I'll just take the all the other hands have gone down. Okay. John, we've got John and Bridget. Let me just finish my part, and then I'll go to everybody else who wants to make a contribution. So you've heard what TJ has to say. To finish on the Dallas project, to make it clear, this is a massive opportunity for us to build up our profile by being associated with space, a natural event, and a scientifically exciting moment. Because a total eclipse is very exciting. If you have never seen one, there's something everyone should see once in their life. And most people can get close to an eclipse with a lot of planning, I have to admit. I've only seen 1 total eclipse before. This will be the second time. And what we are aiming to do is shine a light on Asgardia in the darkness of the total eclipse. And after this digital sitting, which has made me very busy for a long time, I will be totally focused on helping and contributing to what the working group that's putting that event together needs me to do, so that we get the absolute best value from that event. And Bridget, I know you're up next to speak as well. I want to make sure that I do everything I can to assist you to get that meeting with the American equivalent of the British Interplanetary Society. I sent you the biography as well. Hopefully you received that as well. You can tell me in a moment. And then the last item I have, once again, is to stress that when we finish today, please, before you do anything else, if you want to stand for chair of the Finance Committee, please send me an email to chair.parliament@asgardia.space, chair.parliament@asgardia.space. You need to be on the committee in order to stand, and we will have that election on Sunday. Those are my announcements for today. So now we're in any other business, so we'll get Bridget and then we'll get John. Bridget, hi.
Yeah, Lembit, if you would be so kind, I did receive your biography, which I do appreciate. Do you have any information that you can also give me from your meeting with the British Royal Society, or is it there as well?
The British Interplanetary Society, I can write you a short summary about that, and I can do that this evening. I'll do that after we finish today, and you'll have it in 3 hours. And I'll give you a 200 or 300 word summary of the meeting and our intentions. That's a very good point, and I'll do that for you.
Thank you, because I'm sure they're going to want to know what the meeting was about, where it was from, just some basic details that I can give them.
I'm very happy to do that. That's a good point. If Aliona can put that on my list of things to do this evening, I will do them. I will do that for you. It'll be a pleasure to write it up, because I have to write an article about it anyway. So for Room Magazine, actually. So potentially.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Very happy to do that, and good luck as well. What's the American version called? Is it the American Astronomical
It's
Society,
the
AAS?
it's the Planetary Society.
All right. Yeah.
One of the chief and most prominent members is Neil deGrasse Tyson. And if we could team up with the Planetary Society here in the States, then we would be able to work directly with Dr. Tyson, who would be an asset to Asgardia, in my opinion.
Very good. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do. And we can talk more about that on Sunday as well.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to be seeing you again in Dallas. It's good that you're trying to make that trip. If you can, it'll be great.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it to Dallas because next week I am going to Arizona to a family emergency thing. So unfortunately, I won't be able to get the time off to go to Dallas. I did ask my workplace and they declined.
Okay, I understand. Maybe I can ask TJ to see if we can postpone the eclipse. I'm not sure. We are a powerful movement, and maybe not quite powerful enough to alter the Earth's orbit. We'll see.
I don't know. If anybody could do it, it would be TJ. TJ too could do it.
That's absolutely true. I second that emotion. And somebody else who might have.
What? I can do what? What did I get volunteered for? Postponing the eclipse. No, never. He has a non-refundable ticket from the UK. We're going.
I might be able to change it. I could stay longer if you can do that, but I think this is a slightly theoretical debate.
This is not happening. Lembit's coming from the UK, and this total eclipse is not happening again until 2044. So I don't think we have an option to postpone.
Just to be clear to viewers around the world, the eclipse was not organized around my travel. It was the other way around. I haven't got that level of egotism to think that we can alter a solar phenomena for my benefit. So that's fine. It's 8th of April at around 12:30 p.m. Dallas local time, but it goes right across America, right up to New York State. John, you're next.
Yes. Well, I just wanted to tell everybody, those who are interested, NASA is taking applications for astronauts. I believe that's going to close in April. So if you're interested in being an astronaut, you might want to go on nasa.gov. I think it's or NASA astronaut.gov, something like that. But go under NASA.gov, and then it should be something in there about registering to be applying to be an astronaut and sign up. Their last class just graduated, and they're all, of course, very happy of being able to graduate from that. And I always say you don't know if you can do something until you try. So if you don't try, then you won't know if you can get approved as an astronaut. So if you're interested in something like that, that's something you would like to do, then I suggest you go in there and do that. And Bridget, I would tell you that I am an active member of the Planetary Society. So, you can say there are some Asgardians already a member of their society if you want to throw that in there. But I am an active member of it. I don't actually do much in there. I just look at all the conversations between the different people because I really don't have time to actually respond myself. But yeah, anyway, that's all I had.
Thank you, John. That could be helpful to say that we have active members of that Planetary Society. Bridget's definitely worth putting that in. And Ricky, you're next, and then TJ, and then Jason. Ricky.
Yeah, they're also looking for people to do a isolation experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So any Asgardians out there who would qualify for something like that, go ahead and check it out. See if you can't be involved. Thank you.
Thank you. I did a kind of isolation experiment on television once called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And that was in the Australian rainforest near Brisbane on the Gold Coast. And the real celebrities, I don't think of myself as a celebrity, but the real celebrities were in trouble. They really suffered. They did not seem to like living in a camp in the rain. I loved it. What they did not know is that one of my hobbies, one of my passions is camping. And so I spent every other weekend camping anyway. So I was doing it anyway. And it was actually more luxury in the jungle with the celebrities than sitting in a tent in the north of England in the rain and the wind. So I had a good experience of my isolation experiment, and it was well paid. I think I
saw that episode.
Yeah, well, it was I was in there for 16 days, but on television a lot for about 3 months, and that was in November 2010. So it was 14 years ago now. I was the first ex-member of Parliament from Britain ever to do that show. Others have done it, but I was the first. So I recommend isolation experiments. No television, no social media, all the things that didn't exist 100 years ago. It was a nice life. Let's go to TJ, then Jason. TJ.
Just to make some final mini announcements on the Dallas event. So because this is a live event that we're streaming right now from the Legislative Forum, I just want to make sure that everyone that is watching understands that I did put in the chat the Eventbrite link. And if you aren't able to access the link, the tickets are live on Eventbrite right now, and it's listed as the Asgardia Space Nation Eclipse Extravaganza 2024. And there are tickets available on there. They are limited, and there are special add-ons available where you can meet with all of us that are going to be there from the Parliament, including Limbit himself. We're going to take pictures with you. You'll have special Eclipse t-shirts. We'll sign the t-shirts for you. It's literally like as if you're going to a concert, but meeting really cool people from a really awesome Parliament that hopefully you'll get to be members of one day and be residents of one day. And then also there are going to be, which will be finalized today, our commemorative patches, which are going to be extremely exclusive. So make sure we're not sure exactly how we're going to hand them out, whether it's going to be hashtag or it's going to be first come, first serve, but there's only going to be a limited amount of them, between 10 to 15 of them. And they will be posted on either the Eventbrite or on a lot of the marketing, but you guys will see them and they will be finalized today. And they will be beautiful and they will be commemorative and they will have our logo for Asgardia as well as the event information. So you'll be able to not only remember Asgardia, but remember the event as well. And then what else? There's so many things. I think that's it. There will be some special people announced at our dinner the day before. And there will be some really cool articles going out in regards to that, about some really cool people that were involved in some projects with NASA and things like that we'll be able to announce regarding some individuals that helped along the way that were involved in astronomy and things like that. So be on the lookout for a lot of articles and a lot of different things regarding the event. But if you're not involved yet and you haven't purchased tickets yet, purchase tickets because there are limited amount of tickets. And it is coming soon. It's less than 36, 35 days or something like that around that time frame. And we want to make sure everybody has the time to come. And we're really looking forward to meeting you. We want to meet you. We want to meet your family. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you as residents one day too. So if you have any questions, contact any of us, any of the individuals going and any of the individuals not going. All of us will be able to give you the information you're looking for. So special thanks to all of us. So
thank you for the advert. And one warning, it's 31 days away. it's on the 8th of April, and today is the 8th of March. So
oh no, 31.
You snooze, you lose, TJ. I'm not sure how that translates into Turkish, Russian, and Spanish. Good luck with that one, Liz. You snooze, you lose.
Great.
I'm not sure who's doing the translation for Russian at the moment, but if our new colleague hasn't had a chance yet, why not give him a chance now? Because I think we're going to finish quite soon. I'm sorry if that's already happened. That's great, but it might just be worth swapping over a little bit earlier, maybe just for that last few minutes. Is your call. Jason, you're next. Over to you, Jason.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah. We can.
Okay. I'd like to, I'm expected. I'd like to make an announcement. I'm here to stand in for a share in finance community. So that's what I want to let you know. And that's it. I'd like to show you something that I've been working on for a very long time. The only one that knows about it is my share on manufacturing. I'd like to show you something in another camera. Okay? Yep. I'm gonna open another camera. Did you look at it?
No problem.
Can you see another camera now? I have another name.
Okay, well, good luck with that. They're taking a tech chance.
Can you see another camera?
Nope. No, not yet. No. I will be very.
You know what?
We can see the other camera. It's from his mobile phone. Jason Berry, Vice Chair of Manufacturing.
My phone. I will show you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just seeing you. Am I looking in the wrong place? Hang on.
You are, yeah. It's he's in the call twice, so once from his phone.
Right. I had it on him. Just okay.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
You see this?
Ross says yes. I'm just looking.
What you think? This is what you think. Okay, I want to show you something. You can't see this right now. I'm gonna walk over there right now. I'm gonna show you.
Okay. Oh yes, I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have an office.
Wow.
For us. This is for our office. This is for Asgardia Faith Nation office. That's for us. What we usually do. And now what we mean we do it downstairs. This is the manufacturing office. We have our own manufacturing office.
I think Jason's going very far from the microphone.
This is how horror movies start.
Say that again.
I said this is how horror movies start.
I'm expecting to see some dead bodies or something.
It's a bit like the Blair Witch Project.
Now, let me show you everything.
It's a huge space.
And when we go outside, I will show you outside.
Yeah. You're going out now. He's definitely still on the internal microphone. That is an enormous space. When Jason gets back to the microphone, I want to ask Jason, what will you be doing with that? If you said we could not hear because it's an interesting building, a bit like the Flatiron in New York.
Now, let me go through the camera.
We can see it. We can see you, but we cannot hear you.
So this is what I've been working on for a very long time. And so we have office. Yeah, let me go to another camera. Hi.
Thank you. We could not hear you, but we could see you okay. It's huge. It's a huge space.
Perfect. Okay. This is what we have been building for a long time. And we have our own manufacturing. And we have our own place where we can make anything that you need. If you need water, you need anything, we'll make it for you guys.
It's
that.
It's a beautiful space. It looks like a cinema. It looks like a cinema. And I can see this as part of your election campaign for the chair of finance. I knew you would understand. That it looks great. It's huge. Yeah. I cannot remember. Yeah.
2012 feet.
Oh, that's huge. My studio is quite small compared to that. I have 400 square feet here. About that, maybe. Yes, actually, no. I have about 300 square feet. So that's definitely a big space. Not good advert. You could probably make spacecraft there for the Asgardia space station, small ones. And you said that you're standing for chair of finance, so we do have candidate. If you want to stand, please. If you want to also stand, please let me know this evening, because I need to know who else wants to stand. Just for logistical reasons, it just helps me to organize it. But Jason, consider yourself nominated. And I knew that you wanted to stand when you applied to be on the finance committee, so you're in the list. So thank you for that. And thanks for the tour as well. That worked very well, actually. Jason clarifies he's deaf, not hearing impaired. Yes. Anyway, that was a nice tour. It's a beautiful building, actually. I bet you it was built in the 1930s, but whatever it is, it's beautiful. And Ross, in answer to your question, you probably would be allowed to go to space, but you would have to probably shave your beard off because that's the heaviest part of you. And
never.
Okay, well, watch from the ground then. Come to the launch. I've got one last piece of very exciting news. Then, thank you for that, Jason. Nice tour, really nice tour, and hope one day to come to see it. One other piece of news, then, it's really exciting. I was speaking with colleagues, and I understand that that Cheryl Gallagher has achieved something amazing. I shall see if she's when she's ready, she'll share it. It's a really big development, leap forward, and hopefully we'll hear something from Cheryl about that as well. Interestingly, when I go to Dallas, she's out of the country. She's actually in Europe when I'm in America. We overlap by 4 hours, I think, when she returns, or maybe even less than that. But as always, Cheryl has done some great work. She's the Minister for Culture. But I shall leave her to decide when and where she wants to share the work. Well, Ross?
Sorry to interrupt you on that. I've been working with Cheryl on this, and it is definitely 100% going to be shared tomorrow during the government hour. So 100% recommend people make sure they're there for that, because it is going to be mind-blowing.
This is one of those occasions when mind-blowing is accurate. What you will see tomorrow, not just Parliament, but viewers around the world, will show how far Asgardia has come, and where we are going. Literally, where we are literally going. It is exciting, really big news. So don't miss it. Whatever you do, don't miss the announcement tomorrow. That is all we had. My timing was quite good. We've done everything in 1 hour, which in the old days would be 4 hours. Because of the simultaneous translation, we save a lot of time and get more done as well. Tomorrow we start at 1300 UTC. If you need anything, let me know. Bridget, I'll do that write up for the British Interplanetary Society for you. And do remember, you will hear a live televised program with Simon Feast on today's news talk. That's available all over the world. Go to tntradio.live and you will be able to see our broadcast. And that will be with Simon Feast, the Chief Executive Officer of the British Interplanetary Society. We are on the way, ladies and gentlemen. And if you do like what you see and you're not yet a resident of Asgardia, please join. It's €100 per annum, and you are buying in to the future of all humankind with the society which has proved it is able to operate a fully functional digital democracy, and now it's beginning to actively reach for the stars. Tomorrow, in the government hour, you'll find out why and how. So thank you. We will close for today. The voting is open. There are a lot of comments, very large number of comments for Jason. Evie says Asgardia has an office, and I hope that we can call it an office for Asgardia, Jason. And others are saying the same sort of things. Jose says it in Spanish. I can't translate it, but it looks like it's about a workshop. Very good to see that. And John Fine says that, and NASA astronauts cover a wide range of disciplines and positions. It's not just those who ride a rocket to space. So you never know. You might have what it takes, Ross. A recent graduate was in his mid-40s. Well, Ross is younger than that. Lots going on in the commentary there. And Kenneth Edelin says what I think: your new office is amazing. And this is my new office, and this is going to be announced at some point as an official Asgardia premises. And hopefully we can do that around the world, together with Ferda as well. Ferda Inan, who I hope will have the first physical embassy anywhere in the world, and that will be in Istanbul. With that, we will close for today. We got to 49, so when we get to 24, then I shall shut it for today. Do please make sure that you're on time tomorrow, 1300, and we're going to have a really great session, because when I stood for re-election as chair of the Parliament against my good friend Ariadne, I said that I wanted the first 5 years were a period of creating the structures, and now we're putting those structures to work. We're putting ideas into action, and I think we're doing that. Thank you for the translators. Liz, we can go to bed now. We need you tomorrow. And thank you for everybody who's been involved, and hope our new Russian interpreter has enjoyed the first experience here as well. And viewers all around the world, thank you for watching. We will be back 1300 GMT tomorrow. Maximum will be 8 hours. I think it will be 5, but it can be up to 8 hours as well. Have a great morning, noon, and night. Ricky, you need to go to bed as well, because you're talking a lot tomorrow. And John, make sure you set your alarm. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, okay, I'll give you a call. Yeah, I'll just need to do 2 other calls, so it'll be about 40 minutes, and I'll call you.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We close the session for today. When we get to 24, we'll shut it down. And thanks to the team as well. And Oho.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good night, good morning.
Oho.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Oh, everyone. See you tomorrow.